Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Alex here. Manny Pacquiao. We had some videos on the channel with fights, with knockouts, but who is Manny Pacquiao? I like to know that. I don't just like to watch, when the person is up there. I want to know how it happened, the struggles, everything that Manny endured to be who he is. It's the respect that I can give to an amazing person like that. And I hope on this channel, is dedicated to the Philippines. We're going to have a lot of subscribers for sharing the beauty of the Filipino culture, Filipino people, and Filipino achievements in the world. Let's go and watch this.
Born into abject poverty, Manny's family lived in General Santos City.
You lived in really tin shanty poverty.
Peddling anything he could find to put food in his family's bellies. It became apparent to Pacquiao the only way to free his family from this place would be with his fists.
He was really young over there.
Whatever success that I accomplish and how much money I earn, I will never forget that feeling.
Manny Pacquiao and his crew are in the holiday spirit, giving away turkeys and pumpkin pies to needy families.
I still understand, I still feel the hearts of the poor people.
I always said, you never know when the next Muhammad Ali is going to walk through your door.
Limited copies of Manny Pacquiao stamps have gone on sale in the country.
I knew he was special.
And Manny Pacquiao really fighting like a true champion.
Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, a rags to riches story for the ages.
When you were younger, explain why you ran away from home.
At age 14, after his father killed and ate his dog, Manny left home.
I decided to go to Manila to continue my boxing career and to help my family.
He would find his way to Manila to train in a rundown gym. His ability caught the owner's eye. He permitted Manny to sleep inside the gym.
He actually slept inside the ring.
He slept wherever he could, sometimes in the gym, sometimes in the street, but always dreaming of becoming a professional boxer.
At age 16, a starving street kid named Manny Pacquiao made his pro debut. He had to lie about his age to compete.
Look how young he was.
He also fought 7 pounds under the weight.
You weighed 98 and the minimum was 105.
Yes.
You put heavy things in your pocket.
Just to make the 105.
Pacquiao. Now remember, Manny Pacquiao still undefeated with a record of 4 wins and no loss.
But do you realize he turned pro as a 16-year-old pro? Not even 5 feet tall, not even 100 pounds.
It looks like he wants to throw those power bombs.
Manny's electrifying style endeared him to local fighting fans and delivered one fantastic confrontation after another.
More.
I never thought he'd get anywhere as a fighter. He was wild. He threw punches from all directions, no signs whatsoever. But he had power, and he had guts, he had courage.
He made roughly $20 for the fight.
I think it's going to be a short night, as far as this fight is concerned.
Sorry to stop, just 1 second quick. This should be, broadcast in a lot of countries, not only for the boxing, but what it means to be poor, but to have a big heart like Filipino people have. Just wow.
Well, Pacquiao hopes so.
Relentless pressure.
Man,
a hallmark of the Pacquiao brand.
Baby, he is a fast punching machine. He should go non-stop now. That's his style. Yes, that's it.
He developed a reputation as someone who could end a fight at any moment with a single punch.
Oh, saved by the bell.
Pacquiao unbeaten in 10 fights. Very impressive young fighter.
At age 17, accompanied by an actual regular diet of nutritious food, Manny's body began to mature. He failed to make the flyweight of 105.
Oh.
Pacquiao, he's out. It's over. Oh my gosh, it's over. Punch. Manny Pacquiao cannot get up. It's over. Manny Pacquiao, it's over. Cannot get up on time. Over. It's over. Manny Pacquiao.
It was a tough reminder that while he was talented, he was still just a kid.
But he's a very popular fighter.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, they ask for Manny Pacquiao. But he's young, he's colorful.
Pacquiao's non-stop assault of combination jabs, hooks, and uppercuts would become his signature style.
He's being overwhelmed by Manny Pacquiao.
Again with a right-left combination.
Man, he was a beast.
And Manny Pacquiao punching at will.
Ooh.
This is a big victory for Manny Pacquiao. His first win over a foreign opponent.
With 23 wins, the Pac-Man would contend for his first internationally recognized belt. At 33-0, he was an undefeated powerhouse. Most fans at the time felt Manny was being moved up too quickly.
This WBC flyweight title on the line, the title of Chichai Shashakur, Manny Pacquiao.
At this stage, a loss could have meant a return to poverty and obscurity. But when you fight for a cause greater than yourself, to break free from a ruthless cycle of poverty, how much you can take is not quantifiable.
Ooh.
And down he goes where there was a cracking body shot in amongst a barrage of blows. Manny Pacquiao has come of age in Thailand. He is a world champion.
At age 18, the Pac-Man was a world champion.
Won the lineal championship of the world and then skipped up a couple weight classes.
Shashakur, his reign is over. The Pac-Man's has just begun.
Because in his early years, he was fighting to earn a living, to improve the quality of life of his family.
A new champion had risen. He was now a national hero. The people cheered his triumphant return to the Philippines, and Pacquiao began to see just how great the effect he could have.
The WBC flyweight champion, Manny Pacquiao.
See, it's not a matter of just punching. A lot of guys throw punches, but they don't always have the same kind of results that a guy like Pacquiao had. He knew when to punch.
Oh my God.
It turns out having 3 meals a day and a solid sleep and training schedule did wonders for the former street kid. Unfortunately, this worked against him, as he was no longer able to maintain the 112-pound limit. He forced himself into extreme dehydration in order to defend his belt. He was knocked out. It was another lesson learned for the 18-year-old kid. After the defeat, Manny moved into a more natural weight of 122. He immediately fought for another title belt against a fighter who had never been knocked down in his career.
Wow. But Manny did it.
Manny Pacquiao wins the WBC
The time had come for Manny to take the next step. He packed his bags and headed for America. Despite being a champion in Asia, Pacquiao couldn't find a promoter who would work with him until he met Freddie Roach.
Well, they walked in my gym about 12 years ago, him and Mr. Nazario, his manager at the time, and he asked me to work the mitts with him, and after one round on the mitts, I walked over to my people, I said, wow, this kid can fight.
Roach had trained over 25 world champion fighters.
You know, that first round really told me something. I've seen guys fast before, and I've seen guys with power before, but never someone that had both.
It wasn't long before Pacquiao would get his chance. The super bantamweight champion was scheduled to defend his title, but his opponent dropped out. On just 2 weeks' notice, Pacquiao agreed to fight the bigger, stronger, and much more known champion.
All right, upcoming, Leshanolo Ledwaba will be taking on Manny Pacquiao. And for more on that, let's go back downstairs to Jim Lampley. Jim?
Leshanolo Ledwaba against Manny Pacquiao. I'll get it right. Pacquiao
was a late-minute replacement against Lelo Ledwaba, who was considered a guy on the rise on pound-for-pound list, top 10 type, maybe a heavy favorite.
Now the opponent is a real pro.
For the IBF Super Bantamweight Championship of the World.
Man, his first fight in the States with the bigger one.
Pacquiao should fight here. He shouldn't try to get into a boxing match with this master boxer.
Come on, Manny.
I had never seen him. I frankly had never heard of him. But I've seen and heard of him now.
TKO victory for the very impressive Manny Pacquiao, who takes a good fighter and just takes him apart.
Pacquiao established himself as a crowd-pleasing entry into the featherweight division.
And now, a two-time world champion, he is now the reigning IBF Super Bantamweight Champion of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
The victory put Manny on the map. He had become much more than just a celebrity.
For Pacquiao, he's the king of the Philippines. He's a god over there.
Parades, politicians, everyone wanted to see the kid who had fought himself from one of the poorest places on earth to the top of the world.
He's an icon. He's a legend. He's inspiration to many, many people over there. When you're the king of the hill, not to allow that to take your fire away. And that's difficult to do, especially when you're the king of a country.
Back in the Philippines, he is a star of astounding proportions, up there with an Ali, a Chavez in their countries.
Who sent many top fighters into the ring. Box! I think Pacquiao has already gotten some of Julio's respect for his power. Oh, big left hand by Pacquiao. Julio seems a little bit flustered by Manny's power.
Ooh.
And down goes Julio.
That is the look of a guy who knows he's made a big mistake.
This is some prospect, Bobby. To me, he's every bit as exciting as Prince Nassim Hamed. And Bill Clancy's seen enough.
Pacquiao destroyed him in such a way, we wondered, what could he do against Marco Antonio Barrera? Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Barrera may be a little long in the tooth, but he's still one of the best ever.
Manny stacked on weight to move up into the featherweight division to face his greatest test yet. Three-time world champion, Marco Antonio Barrera.
Barrera was considered one of the very best fighters in the world. Manny was something of an upstart, just starting to rise. And the expectation was that Barrera would be just too much for him.
They said the jump up in weight would be too much, that Barrera was just too big.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Barrera opened as a 4-1 favorite.
It's the kind of fight that I'll never forget watching.
Oh my God.
Pacquiao. What he did to Barrera was scary, the way he dominated Barrera.
It would become a defining moment.
He's going to step into the ring. That's a good decision. Finally, they could have done that 2 rounds ago. The Filipino star Manny Pacquiao annihilates, destroys, and embarrasses the great Marco Antonio Barrera. Pacquiao's going to be looking hard for people who want to face that kind of devastation.
He was now a 3-time world champion in 3 different weight classes.
He is an international superstar, but in the Philippines, I think his impact is as great as any athlete in terms of one singular country.
Called the Asian Elvis, Manny was a star of movies, TV shows, endorsements.
That guy's a hell of a pool player. Is he? Like world class.
Where Manny went, scores of fans followed.
That he is the Beatles, Michael Jordan, and Brad Pitt wrapped into one.
As incredible as this rivalry would become.
Just to say again a thing, Manny, you know, now I know a lot about the Philippines and with all the videos that I did. And, you know, the Filipino heart, it's so big and so humble at the same time. But I guess Manny, when he was in the ring every damn time, especially at the beginning, he was fighting not only for his family, but at the same time, he had the whole country on his shoulders. And knowing what poverty means, knowing how difficult it is, thinking about the people over there, that he can bring a smile or make his own people proud, he had that in every single match. I don't know. This is what I think.
The first round was anything but competitive.
He's a special combination of speed, power,
and Juan Manuel Marquez has been down twice.
And tenaciousness, mental toughness.
Man, he's like a cobra.
Knockdown of the first round. And I'm not sure Juan Manuel will be able to get up. Manny Pacquiao is a storm. Juan Manuel Marquez hasn't ever seen anything like that.
Who has?
But Marquez settled in after the early assault, and a rivalry for the ages would be born.
Ooh.
Marquez is making the stand of his life.
Man, this was an awesome match, I guess. Ooh. Manny, come on.
He's so fast. So explosive.
The fight was declared a draw.
The bout is a draw. Both fighters keep their respective titles.
But always at the heart of Manny Pacquiao is the spirit of giving back. It's estimated Pacquiao has earned over $500 million from boxing, of which Manny has donated more than $300 million back to his community.
They bring their medical bills to his house and they kind of
Jesus, guys.
He helps everyone, gives them money.
He pays for the health care of strangers. In 2011, Typhoon Washi killed more than 1,000 and left many more homeless. In addition to giving many weeks of his time and donating more than $500,000, Manny would go on to construct over 1,000 homes for the victims, out of pocket.
It is time for our main event. Eric Morales against Manny Pacquiao. That people are up all night in the Philippines to watch their national hero.
The fight lived up to the hype.
Hard left hand by Pacquiao.
headbutt opened a cut over Manny's eyes.
Bam, that's a headbutt that probably caused.
Absolutely. Doctor is going to have to look at Pacquiao.
But the fight was allowed to continue. They went back and forth, both landing vicious shots on the other.
Man, what a match. Ooh, yes, good.
Both fighters left it all in the ring, standing toe-to-toe until the final bell.
What a fight!
Nobody is going to ask for their money back.
To the winner by unanimous decision.
Morales was the more accurate puncher and won the unanimous decision.
And after he lost Morales, I told myself it's my job to make his right hand as good as his left.
With more time to work with Pacquiao, Freddie Roach began the process of turning the one-punch, one-style Pacquiao into a well-rounded warrior, capable of using both hands with equal destructiveness. Their relationship was rooted in much more than just boxing, as Manny would look to Roach as a father figure.
He's not only my trainer, he's also my advisor and my father.
His mitt sessions are a thing of legend, as his power has a tendency to damage his trainer's hands. He is known for his relentless pressure, which is born of seemingly endless reserves of endurance. These reserves are not given, but earned. Manny jumps rope for over an hour straight each workout. When he runs, he is followed like Rocky Balboa down the streets.
Pacquiao trained by the veteran Freddie Roach, former protege of the great Eddie Futch, regarded by some as one of the very greatest of all modern trainers.
Oh, and Manny waiting to get out of the gates.
Yeah, he'll come running right across, folks.
Fireworks from round one.
Well, scheduled for 12.
He'll run into a great fighter right across the ring from him.
Morales was looking to make a statement against Manny. His early strategy was to attack, followed by more attacking.
Straight punches from Morales. Woo!
But Pacquiao was a hungry brawler, and aggression was just his game.
This is Pacquiao's type of fight. Oh! Left hand, Morales.
Big left hand, Morales.
The war was on.
Come on, Manny. Man, what a fucking fight.
After an
One of the great talents of our time, Eric Morales. And Manny Pacquiao, one of the most exciting boxers of any time.
Manny finally broke through. He dropped Morales twice in the 10th round to be the KO winner.
The winner by TKO victory, Manny Pacquiao.
The fight was everything it was expected to be, and an exciting conclusion to the Morales-Pacquiao trilogy was in high demand.
So the third match.
Manny would leave little doubt about who the better fighter was.
And down he goes. Solid left hand.
He had knocked out the great Morales, not once, but twice. When Manny fights, the nation stops and watches.
He's an obsession. Everybody watches every fight.
Local businesses receive huge financial boosts.
Well, it's hard to believe, but only one man can empty the city streets, and that's Manny Pacquiao.
Famously, crime drops to near zero during Pac-Man fights.
By the estimation of both Ring Magazine and ESPN.com, these are two of the top 5 fighters in the world.
Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao.
Oscar De La Hoya had been the biggest earner of his generation. Pacquiao jumped up 2 weight classes to fight Oscar De La Hoya, who was a natural welterweight.
And at the time, most people did laugh. They thought, this is not a mismatch in favor of you. It's a mismatch in favor of Oscar De La Hoya.
Again, no one believed Pacquiao would win.
There was even a bill introduced in the Philippine legislature.
Boom, perfect timing.
To prevent Manny from leaving the country to participate in the fight because he would be annihilated.
De La Hoya was the bigger man.
So unusual that you simply couldn't have imagined it would happen.
I mean, he was such a handsome guy, and you turned his face into a nightmare.
After destroying another Mexican fighter in the ring, Manny earned a new nickname, the Mexicutioner.
Mexicutioner.
No one had been able to go up in size and maintain their power like Manny. No one. The greatest boxer on the planet wasn't enough for Pacquiao. He was elected to Congress in the Philippines.
Could this political appointment become a distraction? Well, you know what? According to his trainer and a guy who should know Freddie Roach, it already has been.
Antonio Margarito had been busted using illegal hand wraps dipped in plaster of Paris before.
I saw this in our last video. He had some wraps. Yeah, I know about this.
Moisture, forming a cement-like barrier around the hand.
Margarito walked into the ring today at 165 pounds, 17 pounds heavier than Manny Pacquiao.
He's a much bigger guy than anybody Pacquiao has ever fought for.
Margarito was disgraced. He'd beaten great fighters using concrete hands. He was a cheater. So it's okay to feel joy when watching what you are about to see.
You know about the giant screen overhead here in Cowboy Stadium. The picture appeared, you heard the roar, and Emmanuel Stewart, it's inevitable.
And the millions around the world who wish they could be here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
A much bigger opponent, his biggest opponent.
Every round in the fight so far to Manny Pacquiao. And obviously the fight's not over, but how good is he, Emmanuel?
I know.
His 5th consecutive conquest of a significantly bigger man.
He was now an 8-division champion. 8 belts in 8 weight classes. Unparalleled, unmatched, unequivocally the greatest.
Well, are we going to see another virtuoso masterclass from Manny Pacquiao?
I was looking at Manny, and the guy is like to my chin almost, maybe a little bit taller than my chin. I'm like, there's no way this guy can beat me. No way.
There are more Filipino fans, I think, than American fans for Sugar.
Why did I go down? I get back up, and I'm dizzy. I'm like, whoa, I'm still dizzy. Like, I've never been hit that casually, it seemed like to me. I have 10 more rounds to go.
You got hit, man.
And one big final payday for Shane Mosley and a victory for Manny Pacquiao.
Still the WBO welterweight champion of the world, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao.
Manny would face Juan Manuel Marquez for the 4th time. Marquez was a legend in his own right, and his final battle with the Pac-Man meant the world for his legacy. He was hungry. Meanwhile,
He sings?
Manny was becoming increasingly occupied with his political career and charitable works.
We're not preparing the way we should for this fight.
Have you said this to Manny?
Of course.
You told Manny that he could lose the fight?
If he keeps on the road he's going, yes.
We become civilized because you don't have that same mindset. You don't have that same conviction. I call it tunnel vision. You gotta have tunnel vision.
It was a lot like Rocky III.
You can't wear two hats in boxing. That's a whole different concept.
And of course, since he has held political office in the Philippines, he has adapted his lifestyle to that of responsible public representation.
Or like Rocky said, slice it. The eye of the tiger. Right. You gotta have that to win.
Clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck, touch them up. Buenas suerte.
They've had 3 very good fights. Is this too much of a good thing, or?
He's not getting up. No, he's been knocked out.
The loss was devastating. Commentators wondered why he would continue on.
His skill and his determination and his toughness was never in question, but all of a sudden now he's been knocked out by Marquez, and the durability is in question for the first time that I can remember.
Manny would share this message with those people. When you fight for something more than yourself, something deeper than glory, age can become no more than a number. He cruised to unanimous decision over Brandon Rios and Chris Algieri.
Of the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao.
The Filipino crowd chanting for Pacquiao.
You know, even if he lost that match, I know, but being occupied with political things and everything, because in a way, he cared more about his country. And that's a noble thing. So, yeah, I'm sorry that he lost that match over there by knockout as well. But I appreciate him even more. And knowing all these things now, Manny already was, you know, I know, a god. But right now you can understand why he's even more like us, like normal people, because I consider myself a Filipino by heart. But even more, guys. Filipino people in Filipino as country, it's something unique and outstanding.
But even if you retire with a perfect record, if you don't fight Pacquiao, then people will say he didn't take on the other best. Whether you're 1 and he's 1A or the other way around, they need to fight each other.
The enormity of this event has no doubt been
With
amplified
Mayweather.
by the fact that it's the first true fight of the century type showdown of the social media age.
After years of back and forth, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao were finally set to fight. The fight drew a record live gate of $72 million and a record of 4.7 million pay-per-view buys.
It can be argued that this one thus far has been defined by the balance sheet. Let's take a look at some of the projections for a fight that reportedly could generate as much as $400 million in revenue. That would surpass the GDPs of 29 different countries.
And the millions watching around the world.
Boom, perfect timing.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, what happened in this game?
Boxers of their generation going head to head in the fight that so many said would never happen. Here it is at last, it is happening. 16,000 people here in the arena. Millions watching around the world. And the biggest fight of the century is on.
Round's not always been a quick start. Hard right hand again by Mayweather. He's landed
He lost this game?
shots in the first round. The need to develop angles and not come straight down the middle.
Well, a real moment of
Jim, I have Mayweather comfortably ahead. I think he's won most of the rounds. That's why what you just saw.
But instead, it's Mayweather has just turned this into a clinic. Pacquiao bravely going on till the end, but that is it. The richest fight in the sport's history is over.
And still undefeated.
It's Floyd Mayweather's night.
Desangelada, han valido mucho para casa, en el caso de Floyd Mayweather, y para mí una decepción. Que no que la comisión interviniera y que preguntara dónde estaban estos señores que han hecho las puntuaciones. Lo que han hecho los jueces.
It was a stall game.
Otro combate lo estarían así, no lo entiendo. Vamos, o nulo o de ganar. Por supuesto.
Like all athletes, boxers tend to be reluctant to stop.
It is my time. This is one time and still champion by tomorrow night. Manny Pacquiao ain't doing nothing to me, baby.
Keith Thurman talking about you gonna crucify him and stuff like that, and he just like,
don't say that.
I mean, I know he likes to quote Bible verses, so I'll let you know he's getting crucified.
He said certain things like,
What an
I'm gonna
asshole.
send Manny Pacquiao to retirement. I'm going to knock Manny Pacquiao out. I'm going to crucify Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, his family felt it. Oh, when I said I'm gonna crucify the man, ooh, they said, ooh, it's almost as if they had a crown of thorns on them themselves. They felt it.
What an asshole.
Please welcome the longest current reigning welterweight champion, the hard-hitting, acclaimed, and undefeated WBA welterweight champion of the world, introducing Keith One-Time Thurman.
Thurman vowed to retire the Pac-Man, to destroy his legacy.
Nowhere is the anticipation for the big fight higher than Pacquiao's own hometown and home country of the Philippines.
Come on, Manny.
Look at the punches landed, 10 by Thurman so far, Pacquiao at 6.
It didn't take long for Manny to remind Thurman who he was.
Yes, you son of a bitch. Yes. Who's crucifying who now?
That was just a quick punch.
I would love to be the man that destroys Manny Pacquiao.
Come on, Manny, kick his ass.
His legacy is often compared to the greatest, Muhammad Ali.
And here we see the Ali shuffle.
Both men used their incredible gifts to build up and give hope to those who felt hopeless. For them, every time Manny steps into the ring, it means more roads, hospitals, parks, schools.
A professional career that began in January of 1995 when Keith Thurman was 6 years
In
old.
his 24th year as a professional, he's 40 years old. What did we witness tonight, again against the guy who was previously undefeated?
In the literal fight of his life, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao is undefeated.
Thurman's face is really starting to show the effects.
While it was his iron will that made him famous, it is his heart that makes him a legend.
Oh, good right uppercut by Manny. Oh, and a great right hand by Thurman. Time winding down here in round 7.
Come on, Manny.
See what Pacquiao's doing right now is giving him different angles.
Seeing him beat Keith Thurman at 40 years old, like, damn, this guy's great.
Pacquiao defeated Thurman to become the oldest welterweight champion in boxing history.
In favor of the winner, boxing's pride of the Philippines, the ageless wonder, the one and only current WBA welterweight champion of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
Okay, do you think one day you might be president?
It's hard to have a comment right now because it's that far away.
Nobody brings it home like Joe Vincent. Nobody.
It was beautiful, guys. This documentary over here, for me at least, maybe a lot of you knew about this or not, but it was awesome, awesome. And thinking about how Manny managed to be from the street kid, like they were saying over here, to being this legend and this amazing person and helping so much. I just want to say God was on his side. God was watching, like God is watching the Philippines. We had some videos where Philippines is the Garden of Eden, you know, but Manny, it's something outstanding, man. And he's so humble and beautiful as not only as a person, but as a human being, you know. It's outstanding, beautiful. We have another documentary coming up about another amazing and beautiful and humble person from the Philippines and the best pool player of all time. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, guys, we have a lot of videos that you guys suggesting here on the channel. Thank you for that. Don't forget to subscribe for us to be able to move on with the Filipino culture through the world and make them see who really Philippine is. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Stay safe.